This is a TalkStation original podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Paper Boys podcast. I'm JJ Smith.
And I'm Zach Nally.
And as they used to say on Monday night, are you ready for some football? High school football starts August the 22nd. We're going to start off talking about the Croatan Cougars and with Coach Andrew Gurley. Thanks for being with us.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
We're traveling to East Carteret first Friday night, right?
Yes, yeah, I'll be here before we know it.
Yeah. Well, tell us about the 2025 Cougars. How they looking?
Yeah, we're excited. I think that's the word I keep using with this group. You know, we got a veteran group back, guys with a lot of experience. Still got a long way to go just because it's still so early, in the third week right now of practice. And so far, so good. I mean, we had a great spring, great summer. The guys feel like we're coming together, got the team chemistry going, and you just really don't know, how you're going to be till you get out there against that first opponent. But so far, so good.
Yeah. Have we had any scrimmages?
Yeah, we last Saturday we had Wes Craven come to us, and that was more of a dual practice type thing, pretty low key, but it was good to kind of get going against somebody different, and that went really well. Saw some good things and things we got to work on, but I think that's the case for everybody.
Zach and I did a podcast when the year turned, the calendar turned over from 24 to 25, and it was the top 10 things each of us were looking forward to in 2025. And Zach Nally's number one thing that he was looking forward to in 2025 involved the Croatan football team.
Come on now. You remember what it was?
You've put me on the spot here, JJ Smith. Listen, that was a long time ago, a lifetime ago.
A certain player.
Remind me what it was. Oh, yes. Okay, so, and I told people this during the summer. I said, someone's going to play quarterback at Croatan. Well, I don't know. I've heard things. And I was like, they made adjustments last year to some degree to prepare for what was coming. It's Cannon McBride, who played soccer primarily in the fall during the first 2 years, but also was the kicker.
News Times All-County in soccer. News
That's right.
Times All-County in basketball.
Is a very talented young man.
Yes.
And when he was at Broad Creek Middle, he was a very talented football player as well. And there was talk of whether or not he was going to make that transition to be a full-time player at football more than just the kicker. And for me, we see a lot of great people come through, and we don't want to isolate the revenue sports. But it's really cool when you have a great player who's playing basketball and football. And so that's what we've got the next 2 years potentially at Croatan is Cannon McBride is going to do some fun things with Croatan football.
Yeah, the rumors are true. Yeah, no, Cannon's been great. He he's such a coachable kid. Obviously, his dad's a coach. And,
a coach's kid, that's right.
Absolutely. And so he's just, I remember when he was 2 or 3 years old out there, at practice with us. So he's been around the program for a long, long time. And, he's waited his time too. His freshman and sophomore year, he was primarily our kicker, but he also was a backup for us at quarterback and, played behind Coleman. And, one of the things we got to remember and keep remembering this year is that this is his first, full-time game experience as a quarterback. And
so this is 8th grade, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, the varsity level.
Yeah.
And you mentioned Coleman. I don't want to brush over that. Coleman had a great senior year. Threw for 1,100 yards, 16 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions. You all did throw the ball a little bit more last year, and he shined in that system.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do you think Cannon will fit and with the adjustments that you were making last year into this year?
Well, going into year 2 of this offense, it's the transition's been pretty smooth for us. With Cannon, obviously, being around the offense last year, he knew what to expect and kind of knew what he was getting into. And, so far so good. I mean, he does such a good job of, going through his progression and making his reads. And that's kind of the thing that stood out to me about him is his poise, being able to stand in the pocket and step up. And, my thought was, is it going to be a difference between practice and a game? And obviously we've only got one scrimmage to go by right now. But I tell you, he hadn't disappointed as far as being able to have that carryover, what we work on at practice to see it in a game. The biggest thing is, we got to remind them, like, hey, you don't have to go for the big shot every time, hit your check down. You got Andrew Boucher running a flare route. That might be a 5-yard pass, but he can turn it into that big, home run shot. But I tell you, he takes everything that we give him and takes it to heart, and it's been really good so far.
And of course, he'll be kicking and punting in addition to playing quarterback again. And, obviously he excelled at that as a freshman and sophomore. it's hard to blame anybody with your field position when you're the one punting and kicking and all that jazz.
I joked with him when he was Student Athlete of the Week this past year. He's a super talented shooting guard. He's super talented striker on soccer. People talk, the rumors were he was going to be a fantastic quarterback, and I was like, you're going to be known for these three things, but his best option when it comes to getting a scholarship might be kicking, right?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's still a lot of time to tell.
Sure.
I mean, he's got 2 full years left, and anything can happen. But, he definitely enjoys kicking, and he works hard at it. And, I've seen firsthand the time that he's put in for that, especially in the summer, because you don't – in the summer we didn't really spend a ton of time on special teams because we're trying to install for offense, for defense, and all that. But, I mean, we'd go through an hour-and-a-half workout in the summer, and there he is, staying after, 30 minutes or whatever, kicking on his own. So he works really hard at that, and so time will tell. But, yeah, he's definitely got an avenue there.
Well, and, it's not a one-dimensional offense. You've got lots of weapons out there, lots of players who have come back this year, some veteran guys who know what to expect in this program. One of those is junior return. You already mentioned him, Andrew Boucher. This is somebody who, when he started as a freshman, there was, not doubt, but certainly, expectations were kind of vague because he was a small guy. And he certainly proved himself his first 2 years. Last year he finishes with almost 1,500 all-purpose yards, 892 on the ground, 12 touchdowns. The kid can play.
Yeah. Well, he was another, I know for us, there was a little bit of hype with him coming out of middle school, too. Maybe not public like Cannon's
really?
was.
Oh, see, we don't know
knew
about
him.
that. I
see,
gotcha.
his mom teaches at Croatan.
I was going to say, you got the Boucher boys.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right. And, obviously they were really good soccer players, and then here's Andrew playing football. And, obviously with us knowing Cannon, because of his dad, we were able to see Andrew as well. So, I mean, Andrew's such a special kid, man. And getting to work with him firsthand, because I'm our running backs coach, so getting to work with him every day, just seeing the intangibles that he has and that he brings to the table is special. He's just fun to watch. And obviously this year, we're trying to be a little bit more multidimensional with him, not just having him in the backfield, but being able to spread him out, trying to create mismatches. We want to get the ball in his hands as much as possible. So, he's fun to watch. And it's almost, he's the type of kid that makes the coach look good because you just get him the ball and he does the rest. So.
Well, he's another one, like his brothers Jacob and who
Garrett.
Garrett, that's right.
That's right.
They were both such good soccer players, and he kind of like Cannon. The hype of him coming out of middle school was, will he do soccer? Will he do football? Right, because he's really good at soccer too, right?
Well, I know in the spring he's still done like some, I don't know what it's premier
club
club soccer still.
Okay.
I mean, I think up to this year he still did it.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I've heard he's a really good soccer player. Yeah. But I'm thankful that he's with us. I know football is his love.
Poor Paul Slater.
Yeah. Well, football I know is his love, and it shows.
Yeah.
Now, how about the rest of the offense? Who are some other guys that you expect? I mean, we got to throw the ball at somebody too.
We do. Riley Robinson is a returner. Bo Boyd, Caleb Davis, Carter Bowl. We've definitely got some depth at the receiver position. Ryan Wine, I mentioned a couple times that Ryan was with us his sophomore year, moved to Virginia, and now he's back this year. Caleb Tipton is a transfer that we've got from Dixon High School, and Caleb's done a great job. He'll be a senior. So we're definitely, senior heavy at the receiver position. All those guys I mentioned, minus Caleb Davis, are seniors. Caden Bradley is our lone sophomore that we're going to have full-time on the varsity this year, and Caden has done a great job. He's going to be one of our outside receivers. And I feel like I'm missing somebody because there's so many names to name. So, I mean, there's definitely, some attention at the running back spot. Hayden Link is another one that, played varsity since he's a freshman, and he's a junior, and he's going to be some of our slot receiver, but also running back. J.B. Bacali is another one. I mean, it's just I feel like I can easily forget somebody because there is so many names. But we're excited about that group, and I feel like we're going to have the balance. Last year I think I mentioned that we're going to be able to be balanced, and this year it's even more so, just because you have those guys that bring that experience, and you got so many guys you just want to get the ball in their hands. So it's going to be nice because we don't feel like we have to call a particular play to get to somebody. We can do that, but we also can, just call our offense, because let's just take what the defense gives you, because no matter who the ball's going to, we're good with it.
Well, and some of your most electric players, we've talked about them already, are juniors as part of that class that came in, that class that was great at Broad Creek. But you do have a lot of experience, a lot of seniors. Is there a feeling that, not that this year is, all the chips in, but this is an important year to draw on the rounded roster that you have?
Yeah, the expectations are high, but you can't look, so far ahead that you forget, where you are right now in the moment. So that's kind of what we've been trying to do, is just take it. I know it sounds cliche, but taking it 1 week at a time, 1 day at a time, because I think you can almost, put yourself in a predicament because you're looking so far ahead, and then you turn around, oh, we didn't take care of this team that we were supposed to, or we didn't win this game we were supposed to. So, the guys are chomping at the bit, and they know that the expectations are high because we want them to be. And people don't like to do that, because when it doesn't happen, there's such a letdown. But I'm like, hey, for me, we're talking about making a deep playoff run. We're talking state championship.
Sure.
Why not? I mean, could you imagine talking about the opposite of that? People would be trying to take your job. So the expectations are high. We want it that way. We were picked fourth to finish fourth in our conference. I think another newspaper down toward the Jacksonville way, I won't name anybody, but picked us to go 5-5. And my assistant coaches were like, oh, I just can't. They were been out of shape. I'm like, I love it. I love being the underdog. Pick us to lose, because I want to prove people wrong. But
it's definitely more fun to exceed expectations
absolutely,
than try to meet really high ones.
But if there's any team that I've had, especially this group reminds me of that 2020, 2021 group, that, hey, count us out. But if you do want to favor us and pick us to win, hey, that's okay too. I don't think the pressure is going to get to this team. I think we can handle that. So
another team that made that top 10 list from top 10 games. That's the year of the field goal for the win, I believe.
Oh, the 20 group that won the conference.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. This is your 8th season, right?
Yes.
That's it. Oh, wow.
19 overall.
Sure, but
year 8
football
as
head coach.
Yeah.
Wow.
I would argue that this is the most depth that you've had at skill position talent.
Numbers wise overall, this is one of our smaller groups. We'll probably dress 35 on Friday night.
Wow.
But
that is small.
Experience wise,
Yeah.
Definitely by far the deepest we've been as far as that goes. I mean, you come to our practices and there's not a lot of standing around. I mean, we're rotating bodies. I mean, we don't have guys that are just standing there not getting in because they haven't earned it or deserved it. I mean, we're rotating a lot of people, and hopefully we'll be able to give more guys a break this year, from O to D, and be able to two-platoon our line a little bit. At least that's the plan. But yeah, it's been good so far.
How about the guys up front? How they looking?
Yeah, I mean, it's been good. Our D line is, again, not a ton of depth as far as bodies, but experience really good. Christian Taylor, Cutter Bryant, Porter Ingalls, Jacob Rigsby. We've got a young man that moved in, Cole Donnelly, who'll be a senior. Dad was deployed over in Japan, and they're here now. And again, he's got 1 year with us, but Cole's done a great job. He's worked hard in the weight room, and so that'll be fun to see those guys up front. And offensive line guys, we got every starter back from last year.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
So it's a fun group. I feel like we're able to challenge this group more than we've had in the past. I want practice to be harder than Friday night. I want it to be chaotic in practice. It's controlled chaos, but I mean, no time period in practice. I tell our coaches, I don't want anything to last more than 15 minutes. And the majority of things we do is either 5 or 10 minutes, and it's boom, boom, boom. We're structured and organized, and we're going from one thing to the next. And they've handled it. It's been really good. But I want Friday night not to be easy. I don't like using that word, but I want it to be something we do this in practice.
It's familiar.
It's familiar. Yeah, I'm not shell shocked because of
sure.
all of a sudden there's people
even
in
if
the
it is moving
stands.
quickly.
That's right.
Yeah.
I want it to be something we're accustomed to.
Yeah.
Give us the names of your offensive linemen to show them some love.
Yeah, Zach Bentz, trying to think left to right here. Zach Bentz, Alex McLean. Alex has been battling, a little bit of an ankle issue. Hopefully he'll be back by East Carteret.
Okay.
But Aiden Miller is a guy we'll rotate in at guard. Center is going to be Aiden Wilson. Larry Arnold at right guard. Right tackle's Banks Kettner. And then Kenneth Taylor is another guy that we're rotating in. So those 7 are a key group there. And the guys I mentioned at D-line, they played some offensive line. We're going to try to focus them on primarily D-line, but they'll be able to get some reps if need be, if injuries take place and stuff like that. But
and when I did the season preview, you couldn't talk enough about Cutter Bryant.
yeah,
He just one of those kids. I'm assuming if there's a guy who's going to pop on tape every week, it's going to be him, huh?
well, just for us, we get to see him every day, and Cutter, this is his 4th year with us. And I'm starting to see more of the leadership side come out of Cutter. I think as a junior, he almost didn't feel quite comfortable enough to speak up. But now I'm seeing that. Plus, I see the work ethic that he puts in the spring and the summer. And, he's not really having to focus on both sides of the ball. He's been able to focus more on the defensive side. But when we're working our first team offense, guess where Cutter's at? He's on the other side getting defensive reps. So he's getting twice the reps at D end. Uh-huh. And he's pushing our starting offensive tackle. See, our tackles get to go up against Cutter Bryant and Christian Taylor every day.
Sure.
To me, they're at the top of the list as far as defensive ends go from anybody that will play. And so, Cutter, it's no different. What I told you, whether it was 3-4 weeks ago, it's still the same.
Yeah.
And he's the same guy every day of practice that you're going to see Friday night. So it's been awesome.
And you mentioned like half a dozen guys, skill position guys. I'm assuming all those guys are going to transfer over to the secondary?
They will, but we've got a really good rotation of guys. We're running a 4-2-5 this year. We're getting away from the 3-3 stack that we've run the last couple of years. So, having to only play 2 linebackers, that helps. Now we don't feel like we need 5 or 6, maybe 7 linebackers. We can rotate 4 guys there and then have more depth in the secondary. Playing 5 DBs at once is going to be tough, but we've got 9 guys that we really like that we can rotate there. So I'll use Riley Robinson as an example. Riley had 12 catches last year. 6 of them were touchdowns. We got to get the ball to Riley's hands more.
No doubt.
But the reason is he was having to play so much defense. The second half of games last year, he was gassed. It was just so tough for him to play 100 snaps a game. So this year we feel like we can give him a rest on defense.
Okay.
Or offense if need be. So we're just rotating guys. And I tell them in practice, if you don't get reps, it's your fault. And in a game, obviously, it's going to be more coach-oriented, who goes in. I don't want guys just putting themselves in, checking in the game on their own. But we've got that ability now because we've given them so many reps in practice that we can be rotating guys. So we're going to have a little bit of a structure there on who gets in and making sure we give guys rest. But, they're going to get a lot of reps on defense too.
Yeah, you kind of did that with Coleman Davis, right? His senior year. He was such a good safety as a junior, but you wanted him to play offense.
Man,
right?
I tell you, that was tough because he was our best
Self-discipline
tackler.
on your end there,
He was smart, and he really didn't play much
so
defense
good
at
on
all.
defense,
He was more of an emergency guy, and that's kind of what we'll do with Andrew Boucher.
Uh-huh.
Andrew ended up playing a lot of defense.
In a pinch, yeah.
It was
Too much.
It was tough. Well, my heart couldn't handle it. And, Coach Bowl said it. People don't pay. Well, it's going to be $10 now. People don't pay $8 to come watch Andrew Boucher play defense. I heard that quite a few times.
Nice line, Dave Bowl.
But he's going to be an emergency guy. He's going to be a guy in a pinch. Emergency situations, key situations that we know he can get out there. He's put the reps in practice, so it's not like, that's unfair. He's definitely put the time in.
You mentioned you had a conference kickoff for the first time in your career, right?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, that was fun to do that.
And I think it was Havelock was predicted to be 1.
Yeah.
West Carter at 2.
Northside 3.
And you 4.
We were 4.
Yeah.
Yep. So I know we couldn't vote for ourselves, but that was the 3. Havelock, West, Northside was the top 3 that I picked.
Okay.
I'm not going to tell you where I see us sitting right now, but time will tell. It's preseason predictions.
Yeah.
Even Coach Wooten at Havelock said it doesn't really mean a whole lot. They still got to go and produce, and that's the same thing for us. And I like saving those preseason predictions for a pregame speech here in the not too distant future. But hey, it is what it is.
First time in the history of Croatan with Havelock in the conference.
Yeah. We know a lot of those guys, the staff over there. Obviously, they got one of our former coaches and Coach Stauffer. He's coaching the D-line there. They pulled him out of retirement. I don't know what they offered him that I couldn't offer because I'd already tried and didn't succeed. But
Jody?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Well, I didn't really have a D-line opening.
Sure.
Or running back opening. But, no, he like I said, we've known those guys for a long time, the Wooten brothers and,
Sure.
all those guys and Coach King. And it's exciting to have them in the conference. You know, I'm looking forward to going up against them. You know, I'm never going to shy away from anybody, and you know, it's going to be fun. I mean,
where's that first game, here or there?
It is at home.
Okay.
Don't quote me on
That's always
I'm pretty sure
it's always
it's
a
at
good
home.
gate for the Cougars.
Yeah, and even
tell you they travel good.
remember we played them non-conference
Yeah,
a couple years.
I remember they
Sure.
came,
Had
man.
a couple playoff games there,
Yeah.
and so the atmosphere there is fantastic.
Oh, it's fun to play there.
But obviously, we know they're going to bring a crowd, and
Yeah.
you know, the Havelock name is going to travel, and obviously, you know, I think it's going to be a great atmosphere even in our place. So, hey, I love it, you know, and we're going to come looking to win. I mean, we're not going to shy away from anybody, and I think Coach Wooten and those guys, they know that. They know who we are, and they know we're not going to shy away, and I think I think they're excited too about it.
Well, we'll finish on this. When I did the season previews, it was unbelievable. I talked to B.J. Frazier from East, Daniel Barrow from West, Andrew Gurley from Croatan. In that order, I went from East to West. And I could have just not got up with Daniel and Andrew and just used what B.J. said, because all three county coaches, it was the same thing. We're super senior heavy. We got a really good talented quarterback. Mm-hmm. We've got skill position talent. Mm-hmm. We've got a good offensive line. Our defense.
Well, we need a good year.
Maybe there's question marks on the defense. Each one, that was probably, if there was question marks for each one, it was probably the defense. But it was like verbatim the same team. Break down the county for us this year. How do you think that's looking?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I didn't realize really that the other two schools were senior heavy. I mean, I don't really look too far into it until we get ready. But, you know, it's going to be fun. It's a little bit different this year for us because I don't know if we've ever opened with East Carteret.
Right.
It's usually, if they're not in our conference, week 3, week 4 type deal. But that'll be interesting, you know, because Coach Frazier does such a good job of making sure you don't see something again. You know, he does a great job of changing formations and, you know, kind of creating mismatches there. And, you know, their quarterback's going to be talented. I know they got they lost some guys skill-wise, but I know they got some receivers, and don't know a whole lot about what they've got up front, but hey, it doesn't really matter. You know, it's going to be a great game. They're going to come ready to play, and their goal is to come out and beat us, just like ours is with them. And it's kind of two different stories because, you know, we open with East, first deal, and West, it's not the last game of the season anymore. It's second to last game now, but it's just so long, you know, until we play them again. And but that's going to be exciting too. I mean, you know, you can put records aside, you know, when you play both of the county teams, because you know that both teams are going to almost treat it like their Super Bowl. And that's kind of the message that I put in every week, no matter if we're playing East Carteret, West Carteret, or Southwest Onslow. Like, this is the most important game of our season. Why? Because it's the next game. So we never like looking ahead, but I know that Coach Barrow is going to have his group ready to play come week 9 or week 10 or whenever it is. And yeah, we know they're going to be a talented group too. And, you know, last year's game went down to the wire. That was a tough one. You know, we couldn't pull out and thought we had it, but our guys are going to be, you know.
I bet you've thought about that a little bit this summer, haven't you?
To be honest with you, I watch a lot of film. I have not watched that game.
Oh, still hurts too much.
I have not watched that game. I've watched bits and pieces. That one and the 71st game. Oh, I have not gone back and watched.
Can't do it.
Can't do it.
Wow.
Fair.
Yeah, I've watched bits and pieces, and I'll watch it again. You know, going back. Obviously, we're in a different defense this year, but I'll go back, you know, and look at what they did against us, you know, last year defensively when we get close to that week. But yeah, tough one.
The other similarity: all 3 county teams went 6-5 last year.
I know we're in need of a good solid year by all 3 teams.
Yeah.
It would be great to see it.
All right, Coach. We'll see you on Friday nights this fall.
All right, guys. Appreciate it.